So exactly 1 year ago today, around this time, I was saying goodbye to my family and was heading to Mumbai's international airport from where I had a connecting flight through Amsterdam to Berlin. And that was the start of my journey to Germany for my masters. And today marks 1 year since I officially moved here as an international student. And in this video, I am going to share with you my honest experience of what this 1 year has been like, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. So let's get straight to it. Now, before I go any further, I just want to mention that everything I'm about to share in this video is based purely on my personal experiences and opinions. These are some of the lessons that I have learned during my studies and along the way. That doesn't mean you need to change your decisions or plans that you have already made based on what I am saying or anybody is saying. The main purpose of this video is just to document my journey and share with you how life has been like for me over the past year. So the reason why I decided to move to Germany in the first place was not just because of its affordable education or facilities which the country has to offer overall, but because I was interested in a very specific program, something I have been passionate about since my childhood. And ever since finishing my 10th grade, I knew I wanted to build a career around that, which is exactly why I pursued a diploma after my 10th in mechanical engineering, followed along by my bachelor's in mechatronics engineering. Both of them prepared me for this ultimate big step. And of course, there are a lot of great career opportunities too in Germany. Regardless of the recession or job crisis that is going on at the moment, I would like to believe that people who work hard and are willing to put in efforts making the most out of their journey will always find success in their life. And beyond academia, I also wanted to experience what it's like living life on my own terms. In other words, be independent, travel new places, and explore Europe itself. I knew that moving to a new country, speaking a new language which I haven't even spoken of in my entire life, is going to be a challenge in itself, and definitely not everyone's cup of tea. But if it was, then everyone would have been doing it, isn't it so? So I don't know if I should be saying this, but believe me, the very first thing that I felt was way different from my home country, India, was the air. I mean, when I first arrived in Germany and stepped outside the airport, I could literally feel the fresh and pure air that's going in my body and coming out. You would notice the difference immediately. And it matters a lot because if you're from a country where there's a lot of pollution or people suffering from different kind of diseases just because of that, then it makes a lot of difference on your health and life overall. I also wanted to talk about the people because I had this myth at first of Germans being rude, but that's not entirely true. It matters which person you are talking to, but what I have seen is, of course, they are reserved people, but once you start communicating with them and then they eventually open up and then you get to know them, then they are no longer what you think they are. I also wanted to mention about the culture where punctuality is seen almost in every aspect of life except for the public transport where buses, trains might get delayed, but I'm sure there might be reasonable causes for that too. And speaking of paperwork or bureaucracy, which I'm sure you already know that is a lot here, I have something to show to you. So these are the letters that I have received over the past year. I've accumulated some of them. I don't know, some might be lying in my room somewhere, but this is kind of new for me because I wasn't getting any type of letters, at least when I was in India. So coming here, this is kind of a new experience for me, and yeah, something you would experience too once you're here. I have also seen a lot of cleanliness and recycling uh, activities going on, such as if you have seen the video that I posted on my channel, a YouTube short probably, where I showed you the bottle recycling system, which is called P Fund. where you need to empty your bottles, basically those empty bottles and cans. You can recycle them in that machine, which then gives you 25 cents back for every bottle or the piece of tin or can you have recycled. So that is a lot of fun and also quite rewarding and new for me too, because such kind of system was not there in India at least. As I'm here for my masters, so speaking of studies, I think the university offers all the freedom you need. Especially there's more focus on the self study sessions, and there's comparatively less, I would say, spoon feeding as compared to other countries. What's more important is most of the subjects that you would study require at least 75% attendance in order to appear for that subject's exam. Now, this might not be the same case for you or your university, but at least I have seen that is quite common here in Berlin, or at least in SRH. And yeah, also I think you are responsible for enrolling for that subject's particular exam. In most of the scenarios, the university will do that for you, but if it doesn't, you are the one who's responsible to enroll for the subject's examination in order to clear that subject in that particular semester. So I don't think if you know this, but it's highly important to be mindful of such small things. Also, talking about the everyday life, well, public transport is used almost for traveling everywhere here. The cost of living can vary from individual to individual, like I always say, and also it depends on which city or part of Germany you're living in, because the expenses can be different for each one of us. The weather here is highly unpredictable. Like now, it's kind of foggy, and from some point, you cannot even see what's ahead. But you never know when it will turn into a sunny day. So, you should be prepared for all the seasons. And lastly, language barrier. Of course, there would be some times where you really prayed or you wish you knew German in order to speak to that person. Alright, so as I was talking about language barrier, believe me, language is really a big challenge. Even though most of the people here do speak English, but you still need to know German, or at least basic German as they say, in order to do your paperwork and basically live your daily life. You know, there's a saying that goes with it. If you don't know their native language, you will always be a tourist. You can survive, but you cannot live. Hope that makes some sense. And yeah, bureaucracy. Talking about bureaucracy, as I said, it's real, and you too would experience that in your visa renewal, Anmeldung appointment, or even your residence permit, let alone be those bank issues. And there are several other scenarios where you would feel frustrated and you really wished that the system would have been digital and way quicker. So I think patience is the key here. Then there comes homesickness, which is again missing your home cooked food, those festivals, which I believe you would miss a lot if you celebrated them in your home country, and also your family, your close relatives or loved ones, all of them. Because at least for me, this is the first time I am out of my home, basically not just my home or town or basically state or country. It is the first time I am away for so long from the people whom I have been with from past 22 years, moving to a new country where everything is literally new for me. So well, that's completely a new experience in itself. And yeah, you would feel homesickness, you would miss all those things, but again, you have to remember your ultimate goal for your own greater good. And yeah, lastly, academic adjustments. Now I know that the system here, the education system is a bit different than how it was in India, at least, where you would have to focus more on independent learning, like I said, self study sessions. and also you would have some fewer assignments which you would have to submit, because those assignments are graded too when it comes to your final examination, as well as the assignments that were given to you during those time period, based on which you would get your final grade for that subject in the particular semester. So these are some of the biggest challenges that at least I faced, or which were new for me, and the things might be a bit different for you, but you should be aware of this beforehand. So there are a lot of things that I love about living here, starting with the safety and freedom to travel. Now, public transport is available at your service 24 by 7, meaning you can travel to any place you want or can think of at any time, and that is a freedom in itself. You might also notice the international community at university. Considering students from different countries coming to Germany every intake each year, I believe that number will increase significantly over time. As a matter of fact, in Berlin, there already is a lot of international exposure. I can only say this because I am living in Berlin and I have seen around myself. Work life balance and nature. Now, work life balance is doesn't need to be explained, because I think you already know you have to work from Monday to Friday here. Although you can work on Saturdays, some Saturdays, but Sunday is a total shutdown. So it is pretty much balanced, and there's no such thing as overtime in full-time jobs, at least as I know. There might be, but I don't think you get paid for that. Anyway, I might be wrong, but that's just how it is. And nature, like I said, the thing I admire most is air, because unlike my home country, that is the only thing that I personally felt is quite different and has made a lot of impact on my life. And efficient public transport. Now I know it's not that efficient. Sadly, the bus for which I was waiting changed its route and did not arrive. Although there are some delays and due to technical problems, there are some inconveniences caused at times, but still, I would say public transportation is way better than other countries, or at least my home country. And lastly, affordable tuition fees compared to other countries. I know you would say that public universities have started to charge tuition fees, but just think about it. Countries like the US, UK, Canada, Australia, even Ireland charge a lot of tuition fees as compared to Germany. So if you do the comparison and the services that you're getting overall, it's a no-brainer. Absolutely. So not long ago, I posted this video talking about the things I wish I knew before coming to Germany. And if you haven't watched that video yet, don't worry, I'll still mention a few more in this one. Now, as you know, paperwork can take unpredictable amount of time and no one can tell you exactly how long. So what you can do is start early. Regardless of your intake, begin at least a year prior to it. So by that time you can finish all the paperwork and also the application process without missing any deadlines. In the meantime, you can also focus on learning the German language, or if you aren't able to manage time, do at least the basics. There are plenty of YouTube videos or resources on the internet that would help you do the same for free. Now, speaking of accommodation, I think I already covered everything you need to know in a video of mine that's available on my channel. But assuming if you haven't watched that yet, all you need to know is start at least 1 or 2 months prior to your intake. So if you plan to stay in a student dormitory that's offered by your university, the right thing you can do is apply to them as early as possible, because the waiting list is quite longer considering the amount of students that are applying for it every single intake. Anyway, the cultural differences, speaking of the Sundays, which as you know, everything is closed on Sunday. Some stores might be open, but majority of them are closed. So buy your groceries, even medicines if you need, by the end of Friday or late Saturday. Now some stores might accept the cash payments, but as you might be aware, most of the payments are currently done digitally via your credit debit card or your digital wallet such as Apple Pay or PayPal. But it's always good to have cash with you because small stores here in Germany might accept cash payments, and it's always best to have both of them. And lastly, winter blues, where you would be facing short, long, and dark days. The best way to explain this is if you come to winter semester or in the month of October, you would experience that the days are comparatively shorter to the nights, and the summer semester is completely opposite. Also, there's a time difference of 1 hour, and this 1 hour is in the context of, as I am from India, so in the winter semester the time difference was 4 hour 30 minutes. Germany was behind India, and in the summer semester it was 3 hour 30 minutes. Germany was behind India. So that's how it is. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. Just be prepared for both of the semesters. So obviously 1 year isn't a very long time, and it might not even sound like enough for a person to change completely. But hey, I'm just a student like you, and when I look back towards my growth or this entire journey, I can see how far or how much I have grown over this past year. Not to mention how much it has made me independent, confident, and also culturally aware. And the skills that I've acquired over time are cooking, which I never did when I was back in my home country, but at least now I'm able to cook meals for myself. I also have started budgeting, which I have been doing from day one since coming to Germany, so that I can keep track of all my expenses, and my future self will basically thank me for it. I also have been learning the German language alongside my studies, so that by the time I complete my masters, I would at least be able to communicate with the people here. And not to mention, I'm able to play the piano, or at least that I have learned or taught myself to play some pieces on the piano. As you might have already seen my 6 month progress video on my YouTube channel, there are plenty of covers that I have posted, and also public piano performances that I did. So yeah, moving to Germany did teach me a few lessons, such as having patience, adaptability, and self-reliance in your life. There were also times when I felt lonely too and frustrated, but I can confidently say that I have grown from it, and learning to play the piano did help a lot. Now, before I wrap up with this video, I would like to share my learnings with you, starting with learning the German language, or at least the basics of it, as I have mentioned countless times in this video. Second is, don't compare yourself with others, because hey, your journey is obviously going to be different than your friends, your peers, or even myself, for example. So just focus on doing what you do best, and eventually, trust me, you will start seeing results too. Third is joining university clubs or meeting new people, because that's the best place to network and build strong connections that help later on in your life after you graduate. Fourth is planning your finances realistically. By this I mean having a complete cost breakdown of each and every expenses that there is to know. Fifth is saying yes to almost every expenses experiences. Believe me, whether it be trips, internships, or volunteering in any events or activities, just say yes to all that, because the more you do that, the more people you know, the more exposure you get, and the better personality you build in time. And lastly, believe me, it's not going to be easy, but it definitely is worth it. And I can confidently say that moving to Germany has been one of the best decisions that I have made in my life. And personally, I would like to thank each and every one of you for watching this video till here. Now, before you leave, hit that like button and subscribe my channel for more such content. And in case if I haven't spoken about certain topics or forgotten some points that I had to speak in this video, then do let me know about them in the comment section, as I would love to hear from you and I would really appreciate if you could do that. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.